had to sit there for a moment and think about how beautiful this place was.
That was the real world there. You know, that was really home.
Following that, there's often a life review. Life reviews occur in about a fourth of near-death experiences.
The review was everything that ever happened to me, and yet it seemed to happen in just a matter of moments, and I saw it from three perspectives simultaneously. It was as though I was looking through my own eyes, experiencing it again as I first had, and then I was experiencing it through the eyes of everyone with whom I'd ever interacted. And then it was sort of this sort of omniscient viewpoint where I could see everything. I got absolutely no judgment whatsoever. What I got was this tidal wave that hit me of this feeling of unconditional love and acceptance.
I began to notice that there was someone in front of me. This person had been with me through every decision that I had made, and it was the most natural conversation when we began to speak. It was the most natural thing in the world to me.
We started talking about my life up to that point, but there wasn't any blame attached to it. It was almost more a matter of, well, I've done these things, but there's things I haven't done. Now, at the same time this is all happening, I am moving around a series of, like, light bins, would be the best way to put it. And I know that if I go far enough around the light bins, I won't be coming back this way.
Very often, near-death experiencers will then be involved in a choice as to whether to leave this heavenly, joyous realm that they're in and return to Earth.
Someone definitely from outside of me put a question to me that commanded an answer. And the question was, Libby, are you ready?
The feeling that I was getting was that it was okay, either way. I could die or I could live, and everything's going to be just fine.
I was being told that if I went through that window, I would not go back. I was having a great time. I was in heaven.
I started to say yes, and then unbeknownst and unexpectedly to myself, out came the answer, no, I can't go, I haven't finished yet.
And it's very, very difficult for near-death experiencers to come to the decision that they're going to return to Earth, often to a world of hurt and pain, recovering from their life-threatening event. And yet, obviously, these near-death experiencers ultimately do decide to return. They want to come back because of some types of lessons that they need to learn, and it's important for them to come back to complete learning those lessons. Can you put yourself in the shoes of someone who's had a near-death experience? As soon as they start to recover and get over this incredible traumatic event, there's a lot going on in their mind. They may not even know for sure that they're going to survive and go on living.
I was sort of overloaded with what had just happened with me. It was as though I was an appliance built for 110 volts plugged into 220.
I went through a long period of not wanting to tell hardly anybody about it.
And I decided then to just not say anything about it, because it just sounded too crazy to me.
I had to settle for myself whether or not I had had a psychotic episode.
The near-death experience is so profoundly different from anything that they ever experienced in their life. Very, very difficult for these near-death experiencers to slowly start to have the courage to share this with other people.
And what I think is more interesting in my life is what happened after the light. I changed. I wound up in graduate school of social work, going into the field of death and dying. A good fit. I wasn't afraid of death. Wonder why.
The number one thing is that they come back and they do not have a fear of death.
The fear of death is certainly gone, and when it comes my time to go, I'm ready.
Some people do come back endowed by special gifts. Very often these gifts are described as being of increasing sensitivity to other people, sort of an intuitiveness that operates at a very high level. They can be very intuitive, very empathic with regard to other people, especially their emotions.
After my near-death experience, I came back with a real heightened sense of intuition.
We just look at life a little different. I want to still work. I want to play music as much as I can. And I want to help other people because I'm so fortunate.
It's like I'm back to have really outrageous experiences and then turn them into a way to help other people. And thus started the whole idea of having support groups. And now they exist around the world through this organization, the International Association for Near-Death Studies.
I had no idea that there were actually groups of people that got together and shared these experiences.
And as I sat there and listened to some of these people, I'm going, uh-oh. There's other people that get this too.
And it was absolutely wonderful to find this group. And then, of course, the icing on the cake was my meeting Paul when I did.
It has changed my entire life. It changed the way I felt about how I wanted to live my life, how I wanted to fit in.
Kenneth Ring, PhD, had come to town from the International Association for Near-Death Studies to meet near-death experiencers with research potential. I have had a long time to wonder, what does this all mean?
We're all connected on some level.
I could see how my life was affecting the world.
The point of being here is to love and to grow. And this is school. And there are lessons that we're all supposed to understand.
Well, I think in the overall for us here, this is just a learning thing. This is just a very small stop on a bigger picture.
As an expert, the most professional expert thing I can tell you about what it all means and what is the meaning of life is, I don't know.
Everybody is going to experience what I experienced at some point. Most of the time, people don't come back from it. It's called dying.
The near-death experience for the entire world, for each and every one of us, is a profound message of hope. That message of hope is we don't really die, that we're going to continue to have a life after we die, and that it's wonderful.
I want to make sure that when my friends go by my casket at the end, I don't want them to say, gee, it looks pretty good. I want them to say, he couldn't have lived another day.